Last meeting, we had a second reading on the cameras to record everything. I agree with Commissioner Dougherty, it is a little expensive, well, it's quite expensive, but nonetheless it passed. But this should change things a little bit. It should change your meeting a little bit. In the fact that certain bills, you're going to have, really should, for transparency, a little more depth in the bills. Now, Commissioner Dougherty several occasions has said it's less than last year, 10% less than this year, et cetera, et cetera.
Stimulus money, our 15th congressional district, we got, let me take my glasses off, $518,744,868. We made 332.7 jobs, which is a total of $1,559,197.08. Now, out of that,
So what we're looking at here is a bill to support our very own Lehigh County Conservation District. As I mentioned in committee, 1/2 of the district manager's salary is supposed to be paid by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and 65% of technician 1 and 2 and their benefits should be paid by the state also. The state has been reneging on its responsibility to give the Conservation District funding. We are having to cut some funding out of the Conservation District this year because of budget problems. And I think it's only fair that we put pressure on the state to try to restore some of this funding. And of course, the state has a big shortage of money too. With the failure of the FVAP Human Services amount, the state has a shortage there of somewhere between $500 and $800 million. And they're going to try to plug this by putting a severance tax on the Marcellus Shale. Now, this particular resolution is not supporting a tax on the Marcellus, the severance tax or whatever tax is passed. But it is just stating that if a tax is enacted, that we want to see part of this funding go to the Conservation District.
Marcellus Shale has 100 years worth of gas right here in Pennsylvania, which is enough to supply energy for the entire country, 100 years, right here in Pennsylvania. So my point is, although this has nothing to do with a tax, let's not give our legislators a chance to say, here is something that, oh, if I vote for this, I can raise revenue and tax something. So let's not give them the option. This is about ending the dependence on foreign oil, and it shouldn't be taxed. And the issue of the Conservation District, the state should fund the Conservation District, as they should fund 50% of all teachers' their fulfillment of education in the state constitution, which they've yet to do.
I'm going to oppose this as well, because my feeling is the Marcellus Shale issue is something that could be a huge economic boom for Pennsylvania, and I don't know if we should be encouraging additional taxes before this has even gotten off the ground. My view is that it's going to produce a lot of jobs, it's going to produce a lot of revenue by way of increased incomes, and I think that in and of itself will pay for the cost, if you will, of encouraging that industry. And I don't know if we should be encouraging taxing an industry that's in its infant stage, and therefore I feel.
And I have no problem with us calling them out for the fact that they have put in place a program and then reneged on the funding for that program. I think we should call them out on that. However, as part of that, I don't think it's incumbent upon us to identify a revenue source for them to use to fulfill the commitment that they have already made. And that's the problem I have with this, particularly since we are taking a tax that has not yet been enacted and already spending it. That is the main problem I have with this, and why I'm opposed to it.
Those who are opposed to this should be prepared to vote to increase the funding to the Conservation District. As our conservation district, as Commissioner Doherty pointed out, and they do work for us and benefit the environment here in Lehigh County. So I think they will be back because the money's not, if it doesn't come from the state, it's going to come from someplace else, and the county will be the source.
In the resolution, it also mentioned that Pennsylvania is the only one of 15 top natural gas producing states that doesn't have any kind of impact fee on the drillers. And part of the impact fee should be used to protect natural resources and repair any collateral damage that the drilling costs, because there were concerns about the water, whether the water was going to be contaminated, what better use of conservation funds. And I feel that if they're drilling and they're causing it, something should correct it. So why not tax them to correct it?
Those of us living in the Lehigh Valley really aren't familiar with what's going on out there. But if this is the state of Pennsylvania, notice this little arc line here. This is the southeast part of the state where we don't have any Marcellus. The rest of the state is underlain by the Marcellus Formation. And there is a gas boom going on there right now. You can't get over some of the back roads in the northern tier counties because there are just so many gas rigs out there ripping up the roads, the streams are being polluted, and we have a full-scale gas boom going on in Pennsylvania now because we're the only major state with gas that does not have the severance tax presently. So even if the severance tax goes in, some of the best deposits in the country are in Pennsylvania, and we're going to see the continued exploitation of these gas fields. We also find that the state is in such a financial hole right now that they're going to have to get out of it somehow. And if you do multiple choice, what is the state legislature going to do? Are they going to pass the severance tax? Are they going to pass an increase in the state income tax? Or are they going to pass an increase in the sales tax? And I think it's more likely that they're going to go with the severance tax. That's the way everything is headed. And right now, the legislature is dwelling on this one item almost exclusively.
You guys didn't spend a dime, spent zero. But talk more about this resolution that has no power other than maybe persuading somebody to do something down the road, or not. And you didn't spend any money. That's a good thing, you didn't spend any money. However, when you do spend money, talking more about it would be a good idea.
That the state hasn't paid for the justice bills or some other bills. What are we doing not getting our money? If they're going to put regulation on us and not give us the money, then why don't we say, okay, then we're taking off the regulations? Instead of just saying, wait, I'm going to put a tax on a new business. Why the hell would I want to come here with more taxes?
Yes. Commissioner Doherty?
Yes.
Commissioner Eckhart?
No.
Commissioner Ham?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
No.
Commissioner Hanson?
Yes.
Commissioner Jones?
Yes?
Commissioner McCarthy?
Yes.
And Commissioner Roman?
No.
Mr. Chairman, I recorded 6 votes in favor,